it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peace that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Hey, Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I get to welcome you to a terrific Tuesday, and I'm really excited for my guest who's in the building. Bishop Gwendolyn Phillips Coates is back with us on the Day with Trae. And today we get to talk all about her amazing handbags and her business, Creative Lifeworks, as well as some places you'll be able to find her soon to get a handbag of your own. But before I get into it with her, I get to get into it with you. Y'all know I'm excited you joining me today. This is, of course, the top of the show and the best time for you to go ahead and tag this show, share it with others who could benefit from our daily dose of dopeness. If you can't watch us, always, you can listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and The Day with Trae. You'll find me on your favorite platform. Well, I got to say in my intro here, before I get into it with Bishop, I just want to say that there's something so special about purchasing locally. And I've been talking about this, particularly in the summer months where we have access to so many amazing markets and marketplaces that are bringing local vendors together so we can actually patron their businesses, become true customers, and create long-lasting relationships. Now, there is an amazing CMOS shop that I love called T-Moss Shop. And what she does is she creates these well-crafted CMOS lemonades. And this past weekend, she had slushies on deck, y'all. Okay. Now, I'm a fan already of her, and she's such an amazing business owner because she really cares about her customers. She cares about building relationships. And she's such a great reminder and example of what it means to be locally based, but also have a global mindset and a mindset for community that is so key to how you move in your business as a business owner. She's often set up at almost every different type of event going on in the summer. You can find T-Moss Shop and look it up, and you can also order on her website. But I want to give her a big shout out. Shout out to you, girl. We love you and appreciate you for the amazing ways that you craft drinks. And I got to check in with her this weekend. And what I love about something she said is what I wanted to share with you all today, because she said, you know what? I look up and I'm so grateful to God for these amazing blends of flavors that he gives me to give to my customers. So I was excited because my very favorite flavor that she makes is prickly pear. It's like a cactus prickly pear. It is so good as a CMOS lemonade. But she hit me to a new flavor, dragon fruit. Oh my gosh. Now, I used to be one of those folks who would get the dragon fruit drinks when I would see them because I'm just intrigued by the fruit itself. But she did a phenomenal job with this flavor as well. So Tiana, shout out to you, girl. You know you're doing your thing. And I'm just going to say that I was impressed, not only with her flavors, but also with her care. She always takes care of me when I'm out at events, and she knows I'm gonna come and try to find her booth. She has a phenomenal setup that is unique, and it reminded me of how many local vendors I love to connect with when I'm out in community. And I'll be telling y'all all the time, find your way to get to know local vendors. That's why I'm so excited for my guest who's here today, because up next, I get the opportunity to talk to Bishop Gwendolyn Phillips Coates about her amazing, phenomenal handbags and her business, Creative Lifeworks. Y'all don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Here on Back to Besa, it's always been important to me that we uplift stories from across the region, and that no matter where you live in the nation, you never have to miss a moment of the show as we continue to highlight the beauty, excellence, and resilience of our communities across the Pacific Northwest. Why? Because representation matters. So no matter where you live, be it the Central District or Centralia, Portland or Pullman, or anywhere across the country, I encourage you to join me on this Back to Besa journey by downloading the free Fox Local app on your phone or smart TV as we continue to elevate the very best in our communities. Black caregivers, entrepreneurs, and elders, this one's for you. Queen Care is offering complimentary self-care services to those who give so much to their communities. Take a moment to restore, recharge, and be cared for with free wellness treatments at the Spa House by Queen Care. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Go to queencareproducts.com now to sign up or scan the QR code on your screen because you deserve the same care you give to others.
Hello, welcome to Elite Insights with Carlos Imani. We're looking to offer an in-depth look at event production industry through the lens of client experiences and joint successes. The podcast will emphasize guest interviews, focusing on client discussing their fields and reflecting on their collaboration with Elite Collective. Again, you're with Elite Insights. Carlos Imani here. See you guys in a few.
Now, y'all, I gotta correct something because I was over here just geeking out about My Shop, and it's Takia Miller. I want to get that right. But Takia, we love you. Thank you for the work you're doing in community and for always taking care of me when I need that amazing hydration. And your teas and your lemonades and your blends of sea moss are just incredible. Keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate the work you're doing out here. Now, of course, joining me is Miss Bishop Gwendolyn Phillips Coates. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Bishop?
I'm good. It's good to be with you again.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to have you here. And I'm so excited because last time I missed out on being able to speak with you about Creative Lifeworks. You know, you are so involved in the community. You're doing a lot of different things, but this is a special place in your heart, you know, this business. And I know you and I have just talked about it a little bit. Tell the folks why Creative Lifeworks had to be birthed.
So it had to be birthed because I do a lot of things, right? So I sing, so I have 2 CDs. It's Christmas Rejoice, it's Grateful. I write, Waiting on My Lunch Date, A Journey Through Grief and a Path to Joy, and other writings. I write Bible studies and other books and publications and provide journalistic views on different things that are happening in the community and the world. And one day I bought a pair of boots. I bought a red pair of boots. And I could not find a handbag to go with it. So I made the handbag to go with it. And my son, Philip Sharp Skills Jacobs, give him a shout out, said to me, Mom, I think you're on to something. So we started having a weekly family creative session every Wednesday from 12 until 1. My daughter, my son, and I get on the phone or Google Live together, and we're looking at one another and we're talking about what we're doing. And as we're doing that, we're creating things. This past Sunday, my daughter had a fried chicken stand at the airport in Bend, Oregon, because all of us are doing creative things. Philip is coming out with his 5th book in October. So I decided to pick the name Creative Lifeworks because everything that I'm doing, whether I'm out speaking to the community about being prepared for end of life, or talking about brain health, or my book, or the handbags, or putting fashions together for fashion shows, whatever I'm doing comes under Creative Lifeworks. In fact, the back of my jacket that I made for myself says, "Blessed with creativity." And I just encourage people that whatever God has blessed you to do, don't think that you have to get in one certain box and stay there, right? You can just do everything that God has created you to do. You and I met when we were on stage for Dark Divas. I was singing, you know, and acting and dancing. And so a lot of people say, the bishop is dancing? Yes. I was in Puerto Vallarta last week and I went to the salsa class. Now, did I need to go to the salsa class? No, I know how to salsa, but I just wanted to move my body and get out there and move. And so it's just good to stay creative because it keeps you vibrant.
Well, I really appreciate your perspective on this, and I agree, because you're definitely out here doing all things creative. But I really love what you said about utilizing your gifts in multiple ways, right? Because sometimes we do that. We'll put ourselves in a box, or society kind of puts you in boxes and you accept that box.
Right.
But I love that perspective of understanding how to, you know, exude your talent in all the things you do and allow it to proliferate in the ways that it comes natural, right? And so I really appreciate that. But I also really love the name of Creative Lifeworks because it has some double entendres in there, right?
Absolutely.
Like, you know, creativity helps life to work. I mean, there's so many things that I think of when I heard the name. What had you really settle on that name specifically?
You know, I really prayed about it. I'm like, God, the children, my business partners, my business program is telling me to find a name for this business. And to be honest with you, I wanted to start a nonprofit. And so I started working on the nonprofit. The acronym is SEEN, Success, Enhance, and Success, Embrace, and Enhance Network. Success, Embrace, and Enhance Network. But then I went with a business program, and they don't support nonprofits. So I had to think on my feet. And when I tell you, God gave me that name, and I just started looking it up while we were talking to see if there were any others like that in the area, and there was no other Creative Lifeworks LLC in the area. And I said, sold.
Nice. Well, it definitely describes a lot of work that you do. But I mean, you talked about this. Now, you're also helping people get prepared for end of life. Tell us a bit about that work that you do out here in the community to help folks honestly understand some of those parameters that are necessary to embrace when they find themselves in that perspective, in that situation.
Absolutely, because a lot of us don't know. I can't tell you how many times that as a pastor and a bishop, I have gone to the hospital to be with families who are supporting a loved one who can no longer speak for themselves, and they're fighting in the hallways. The family member is on life support. They had not spoken to their family members about what their choice would be if they couldn't speak for themselves, and somebody is saying, yes, we need to disconnect them because they'll be a vegetable for years, and somebody else is saying, no, please unplug them and give them some quality of life, or let them die with dignity instead of be there and just be a vegetable. And so I didn't know anything about it myself. My husband passed away in 2001. He had a brain bleed at home. I was waiting for him to come and take me to lunch, and that's why I wrote the book, Waiting on My Lunch Date, A Journey Through Grief and a Path to Joy. But what I learned from that was that I still didn't know everything. He and I had not spoken about what his choice would be. He had a brain bleed at home. He was airlifted from Kent, Washington to Harborview in Seattle. We had been here 59 days. I didn't even know where Harborview was. Wow. I had to call someone on the phone because in 2001, they didn't have the maps on the phones. Yeah. And so I had to call somebody to direct me there. And even once I got there, I did not know what his choice would be. He was already on life support by the time I got to the hospital. He never regained consciousness. And so it took me about 4 years to write this book. I went on a cruise to Alaska, started writing it in 2005. It was published in 2005. This is the 20th anniversary of the book. And since that time, I've gone back to school. I have my doctorate in strategic leadership, and my dissertation is the church's response to illness, dying, death, and bereavement, because I want the church to do a better job. And so from the writing of my book, I met with a white oncologist when one of her Black patients had given her some money so that she could help folks understand about palliative care and hospice. And I went from the pulpit to a diversity director for a hospice organization, which helped me learn all I needed to know about helping people be ready. Just get your paperwork ready. It doesn't mean you're bringing death in the room, and it doesn't mean that you're dying today, but you're having the conversation with your family so that they won't be caught off guard.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm creating a 60-card conversation starter for people to talk about life, because I found out, my sister and I were talking about, we're from Los Angeles, and we were talking about going down Crenshaw when we were teenagers and turning up the heat and letting the windows down, and Maverick's Flat is there, and I sang at Maverick's Flat, and my children were like, Mom, you sang in a nightclub? Because all they've known is the pastor and the minister. And so I realized that it's important that our families need to know about all of our life, not just end of life. So in this card series, they'll be able to talk about life. They'll be able to talk about spirituality. They'll be able to talk about the decades. So what did you do in the first decade, right? In the first decade, I helped open the school, Marian Anderson Elementary School in Compton, California, and Marian Anderson came. And I sang the lead of the Battle Hymn of the Republic, and I was so nervous, and she came to me and said, if anybody could have done this better than you, they would have chosen them and not you. So if we go start talking about the decades and what happened in this 10 years and the next 10 years, so our families can really get to know us.
Wow. I love that. All these years I've known you and I had no idea you did all that. And I've interviewed you and everything. I mean, that's the beauty of life, right?
Yeah.
Is the path that it takes you on allows you to then have a purview into things that maybe you wouldn't either, otherwise.
Right.
So I love that you were able to explore this and provide families and others an opportunity to really have these deep conversations. You know, one of the things that I was so grateful for before my grandmother passed was to just record her audio, record her talking about her past.
Yeah.
And I asked hard questions because when we were growing up, we knew her in the church and she was a devout Christian and right. And then, in the choir, and that's how she, helped to influence so many of me and my cousins. But there was so much more to her life that she had explored, but she wasn't necessarily willing to share it at the time, right? She was like, no, I'm not telling y'all about, me and these dudes out here that was, running amok and all. But I was like, Grandma, tell me, like, what happened there with you and Grandpa or whatever, right? And she was able to share with me way more uninhibited than she could back then. And I encourage that so much. So I love that you're doing that work. Now, how do you see that connecting to the brain health work? Because I'm certain that there has to be some connection here.
Yeah, so the Department of Health actually is working with the National Council of Negro Women, of which I am a member of. And this Friday, we're having a fashion show at the Central Area Senior Center. And we'll be telling you more about that later. But because of this grant, they selected 2 people out of the group. I actually volunteered because I have a brother that's been living with dementia for over 8 years. I've also worked with the dementia organization out of Seattle and Chicago for many, many years to help bring information to our community. I really like bringing information to our community because if it comes through me, and they call us trusted messengers, right? So even when I was bringing hospice and other information to people, when I would walk into a church, the pastors or the ushers would know me, and whatever I had to say, I got to say it from the pulpit. So the who saids are important. It's like, who said it? If it's coming out of Washington, D.C., people don't want to hear that. But if it's coming out of Bishop Gwendolyn Coates, who I just saw at the supermarket, at the church meeting, or, doing boots on the ground, or at the booth having her handbags. When I'm there with my handbags and my book and my T-shirts that say grateful, we're talking about everything. And so it's important that we understand how to take care of our brains, of how to keep ourselves focused on things, right? How to be certain that we're working puzzles and these conversations are so important. When we're talking about decades, it's important that I remember that I was 6 years old when I met Marian Anderson, right? It's important in the second decade that I realized how smart I was, that I had finished all of my high school work and we created soul shows. And so because I still had to be at school, we went from the high school to the junior high schools and did soul shows, right? In the third decade, starting to work for newspapers and advertising and that kind of thing. And if I don't remember that, then I feel like I am diminishing. And so we do lose parts of our of the matter in our brain as we age, but things like alcohol, things like trauma, even racism can cause us to not want to remember. When I was little, we used to go on family vacations from Los Angeles to Chicago to Oklahoma every year. We stocked up the station wagon, mama fried chicken, put some aluminum foil in that shoebox and a loaf of Wonder Bread, and that was what we had to eat, and Coca-Cola products, right? Wow. We didn't realize it was because of racism that we couldn't stop in a hotel or that we couldn't stop and use the restroom at the gas station. They didn't talk about it because of shame.
Wow.
And I remember when my mother passed away and I was writing her obituary, and she's not here anymore, so I can say it. My family, my dad and my mom reconnected in California from Oklahoma when they were in San Francisco. My mother was working in the house, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the white people's children, and my father was driving Miss Daisy. But when I went to put that in my mother's obituary, my father said, take that out, because he wanted her to be known as the piano teacher.
Wow.
So shame, but shame on America for making us feel that shame and feel like we can't talk about things. So that's how we've learned how to hush the things that have really happened in our life. And once you start forgetting, once you push it away, then you have difficulty calling up the things that you want to remember.
You are a whole word right now. So my grandmother was dealing with dementia, and you just said it right there. Like, so much of it was voluntary forgetting.
Absolutely.
Until it becomes permanent forgetting.
Right.
I never put those two together, Bishop. Wow.
We teach ourselves to remember, and we teach ourselves to forget.
Wow. I mean, I got like all the hairs on my body are standing up right now. That is profound. And you know what? Honestly, I'm just so grateful every time you're here on this platform. You got some phenomenal events coming up. People are going to be able to find you and Creative Lifeworks and your phenomenal handbags out there in community. I want to give you time to let the folks know how they find you, where they find you, and how they stay plugged in.
Absolutely. So you can go to creativelifeworksllc.com. It is a work in progress, but you can still go there. You can also find me this weekend. I will be at the National Council of Negro Women's Summer Breeze at the Central Area Senior Center from 6 until 9. Some tickets are still available, and so you can reach out to me through all the socials, Gwendolyn Phillips Coates or Creative Lifeworks LLC. On Saturday, I will be at the Teen Summer Musical, The Wiz, and I'll be vending there. And then on August 31st, I'll be bringing information about brain health, and that's at New Hope Baptist Church. It is free from 1 until 3. And if you want to hear a sister preach, come at 10:30, because I'll be preaching for them on that Sunday morning on 21st and Fur, New Hope Baptist Church. You can come there, and I'll be bringing the word, and then we'll transition into a workshop on brain health.
Wow. You are incredibly inspiring. I'm so grateful to know you and to have you in my life as such a phenomenal mentor to me. Thank you.
You're going to make me cry now.
Thank you so much for your work. It's just inspiring because you are doing it. You're proof of, what we talk about. You're doing it. You're living it. And God's light shines through you so well, Bishop. Thank you.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Y'all, I'm getting all teary-eyed, but after this, we actually got a little surprise for y'all because we're going to show you some of these handbags. Honey, she didn't come to play. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. Right after this, you're watching The Day with Trae.
Getting the scholarship really changed the conversation. It went from, I can do school in my free time and make it work, to I could only focus on school and I could be the best I can be every single day. I can soak up everything. I can read before class and make sure I'm not just learning enough to pass a test. Like, I could really pour all my time into school. That's what having a Seattle College Foundation scholarship did for me.
Black caregivers, entrepreneurs, and elders, this one's for you. Queen Care is offering complimentary self-care services to those who give so much to their communities. Take a moment to restore, recharge, and be cared for with free wellness treatments at the Spa House by Queen Care. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Go to queencareproducts.com now to sign up, or scan the QR code on your screen, because you deserve the same care you give to others.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Now we actually get to see the works of Creative Lifeworks. Tell us a little bit about what you brought to show today.
All right, so this is the ancestral collection.
Wow.
The way that I keep my mother, my grandmothers, and my aunts in my life is I have named these handbags after them.
Nice.
Yes, so this is the Henrietta. These are the Myrtles. This is the Bernice, the Lily Cakes, and my grandmothers, the Lena and the Maddie, and this is the Aunt Jen.
Ooh,
Yes.
wee.
This one is kind of special to me. It's also a Henrietta. The brief bag is what I call it. So it's like a briefcase and a handbag. This is an upcycle from a jacket.
Nice.
I lost a lot of weight, and it's like, I love that jacket. And so I made it into a handbag. It's still got the pockets. Oh, wait, what is that in there? Oh, we still have something in the pocket. Look, I was hoping it was money, but it wasn't. But anyway, so this is the ancestral collection. And something that I did that I wanted to do very special is to present you with one of the G bags.
Oh my word. I get to open it right now?
You do. So it's lightly put together. So I'll just pull this away. And that's a Gwendolyn. Okay, so I've named them Ancestral Collection, but you can even take it out of this part so that you can show, I know that you are Afrocentric loving, and I found this fabric. And this is mud cloth from Senegal. I brought this back from Senegal, and they're inspiring words on the inside so that every time you look inside this bag, you will be reminded that I love you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is incredible. Y'all, if I had a camera, I would show y'all inside. It says glory, faith, hope, salvation. I mean, this is incredible. Bishop, clearly these handbags are made with love, and I cannot thank you enough for thinking of me to add me as a patron of this amazing collection. Now I'm ready to buy more bags. This is fantastic, y'all. Amazing material. You can tell that you took every bit of care in crafting these bags. Thank you, because who knew you had bags in you too, baby? This is amazing.
Right?
Out of all the other things you do. Thank you so much for this bag and for your work in community, for continuing to shine a light on all of us. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with Creative Lifeworks, okay? This right here is a bag that you will never forget and you'll want to take with you everywhere. Thank you so much, Bishop.
You're so welcome.
We love you. And thank y'all so much for watching. I'll be back with y'all tomorrow. Until then, at 11 a.m. Peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.